Hey guys, so here's what that color wheel notes that you did the fill-in form looks like. So here's the 12 colors of the color wheel, and then on the right you can see some boxes with the reds, yellows, and blues. You can see the color math to make the secondary colors. You can see the tertiary colors demonstrated similarly to the wheel, but in separate rectangles. As well, you can see monochromatic color schemes, and you can also see tints and shades in that monochromatic color scheme, as well as the complementary colors. Now, there are two parts to this video demo. The first part is going to be for those that have a printer and the ability to print the blank version of this sheet out. The second part of the video near the end is going to be for students that do not have a printer but can still find a way to recreate this assignment exactly to fit the rubric. All right, so with our color wheel notes, what we're going to do on Canvas, there's a copy of this one filled in. These are the notes that you guys wrote down on the form. But here's an example of what the 12 colors of the color wheel look like, as well what the primaries are, what colors make the secondaries, and of course the secondaries, the tertiary colors, which you also see in between the 6 basics here, as well as examples of the complementary colors. And in this case, I only did a 3-step value scale on the monochromatic scheme. Now, if you have a printer, you can print this out, and then you're going to use these areas to follow the demonstration video and use your colored pencils to apply the colors as you see in the video here. All right, so now that we moved into our color unit, we're going to be using our colored pencils that I asked you guys to pick up. Again, this is the 6 basic Prismacolors. I've got crimson red, I've got orange, I've got canary yellow, I've got true blue, I've got true green, and I've got violet. So these 6 are the ones that we're going to be using for the color wheel. It's what we're going to be used to make all 12 of the colors. So in the wheel that you have, if you printed it out or if you created it by hand, you'll see that demonstration in a minute. I want you to just carefully fill in the 6 basic colors first. So I'm starting with red, and I'm just carefully and neatly filling in the space in that wedge with red, with medium pressure, and then I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Now, the next color there is red-orange. So when you make tertiary colors, you're going to put the darker value down first with medium pressure, and then you're going to go over top of it with the lighter value color. But what I want you to do first, and you'll see me recreate those in a minute, is I want you to go through and I want you to put all 6 basic colors into the wheel by putting them in each of the wedges and skipping every other wedge. Now when you create a tertiary color, as I said, you want to put the darker color value down first. So in these blank spaces here, I'm going to start with the color between red and orange. And again, tertiary colors always have the primary name first. So I put the red down first with light to medium pressure. Now I'm going to go over top with the orange and pressure. It's called burnishing. And it's going to blend the two together to create a really nice, smooth red-orange color. I'm going to repeat that process on the other ones, always putting the darker color value down first and then going over top with the lighter value color. Now, what's darker between orange and yellow? To make yellow orange, I have to put the darker value down first, which is orange. I'll put that down with medium pressure, and then I'll go over top with the yellow with pressure, blending the two together, creating a nice, smooth yellow-orange color that you'll see here. Now, tertiary color, yellow-green. I got to put the darker value in first, so that's green, and then go over top, burnish it with yellow. Darker color between blue and green, blue-green. Blue is the darker value. Put the blue down first, burnish over top with green. Darker value between violet and blue. Violet is the darkest of all the colors, so I put that down first, and then overlap it with the true blue with pressure. Create nice blue-violet, and violet it down again with medium pressure, and then burnish over top with red. Gives me my full 12 color wheel. Now, just fill in colored pencils with the names of the colors as you see. So you're just filling in these rectangles with the primaries. So you got the red, yellow, and blue. And then in the next section, demonstrate the color math. So really, you're just going to use the colored pencils and fill in the rectangles for the colors that you have there. Again, with the tertiaries, you're doing the same thing you did in the wheel, but this time you're just doing them in sections. So you're always putting the darker value down first and burnishing over top with the lighter of the two tertiary colors. Now, with the monochromatic color scale, again, we're using one color and we're creating a tint and a shade of that color. So you can pick any of the 6 basic colors, and I'm just going to fill in the center square with that hue, nice and smooth, nice and neat. Now, when you create a shade, you always want to put the darker value in first. And in this case, the shade is black. So we're going to use something called the warm gray technique. And you're going to apply the black lightly with light to medium pressure, because it's always easier to darken a color with the black or the color you're putting over top than it is to try to lighten it with the color. So now I'm just going to put the green over top of the black, the warm gray technique, with pressure to create a shade of that color. Now when I do the tint of the green to make a light green, I need to use the darker color again. So in this case, the darker color is the green. I put that in with medium pressure, and now I'm going to burnish over top using the white colored pencil to create a tint of that green, and just add the pressure to smooth it out and make a nice smooth version of that green like that. So from here, you're just going to fill in the complementary color sets just with the colors. So I'm just going to use the colors that I have here, the 6 basics. I'm just going to fill the red in red, the green in green, and this is where the colors are going to have that most optical effect when you put them next to one another. If you have a printer, work from this one. Please write your name here, and then you'll photograph this assignment from directly over top, so I can see your name and I can see the edge of the paper. I don't need to see all of this. What I really want to see you focused on is just this area, so I can see how you use the colored pencils to recreate the color wheel as well as the other color vocabulary. If you don't have a printer, you can use things that you have at home. It's just a blank piece of copy paper, and you're going to recreate these objects, okay? The circle and then these squares. They don't have to be exactly the same size, and then you'll be able to follow the video for recreating. So what I'm going to do is, to recreate the color wheel, is I'm just going to take a glass, all right, and I'm going to put the glass down. I'm just going to trace the shape of the glass, okay? Now, I need to make 12 sections, and if I think about 12 sections of the color wheel, I could think about a clock. So if there's a clock here is 12, that means it's 6 here, okay? So I'm going to start, now I'm just going to take a ruler or some kind of straight edge, and I'm going to draw a line, and if I want to use the ruler to make that, I want to kind of make those wedges, right? So if I'm taking that, I'll start here and I'm going to go there. So my first line is going to go here, all right? My second line is going to be a wedge that goes this way. Okay, so that gives me my wedge between 12 and 6. Now, this may not come out perfect, but that's okay. So I got my 1 o'clock here, I've got my 2, got my 3, got my 4, my 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, my spot's on the clock. So now I can just go along and make the wedges. So this next one is going to go from the 1. So if I look at these as colors, this is red, orange. So the red-orange is going to go this way. So each time I draw this line, it has to go through here. So this one's going to go through the center. It's going to go from here to there. And the 11 right here, this one, it's going to go through the center this way. And that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sections in my wheel. All right, now for these other sections here, I'm just going to recreate. So neatly fill in with colored pencils the primary color. So I'm going to make 3 rectangles right here. And then I'm going to fill that in with my colored pencil. This one's going to be red, this one's going to be yellow, this one's going to be blue. Right. I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to recreate. All right. Then I'm going to recreate these 5. Same thing here. And once I'm done, I need to put my name on the project. When I finish with the colored pencil techniques, as you'll see in the demonstration, now I've got to go back in, I got to put in the 3 rectangles for the tints and shades, and I have to go back in and put the set of 2 for each of the complementary color sets. Here's what it's going to look like before you start coloring in the rest of it. I'm going to photograph this and post that for my assignment. Now, what it says with these colored pencils, right? These are the colored pencils that you have at home, hopefully the ones that hopefully you have all 6 basics. You only need the 6 basics, as you'll see in the demonstration video. So I've got a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. I would suggest, as the video says, going in and neatly and carefully filling in the wedges of the 6 basics first. Okay? And on the directions in the demonstration video, you'll see when I create the tertiary colors. Okay, so red, orange, so I'm putting all the 6 basics in first. I'm putting them in nice and intense, bright color. When I go to do the tertiary colors, the ones in between, I always want to use the darker value first. So red is darker than orange. And when I mix them, I want to put the red in with medium to light pressure. And then I want to go over top of the darker value color with the lighter value color and create a nice red-orange color. A little bit of pressure smooths out the colors, and you can see how I've got a good representation of those 3 analogous colors on my color wheel. And of course I would continue that all the way around. When you get into these sections, again, you're just recreating what you see in the demonstration. So I'm filling this rectangle with red. I'm filling this rectangle with yellow to create the primaries. And I'm filling this rectangle with blue. Okay? So follow along with the demonstration that you see on the video.